Welcome to my channel. Today I bring you an update. President Bassirou Diomaye Faye issued an ultimatum for the return of vehicles belonging to the presidency's fleet. The deadline, which ended on May 28, 2024, required beneficiaries to return the vehicles, regardless of their condition. A circular dated May 21, 2024 01210 PRS-GDMG DPL reinforced this directive. However, as of Wednesday, May 29th, only 3 vehicles have been returned, according to collected information. Please subscribe to my channel for more updates. Palace Services have identified at least 130 vehicles belonging to the presidency currently in circulation and owned by dignitaries of the former regime. In response, instructions have been given to the competent authorities, including the Gendarmerie, to immobilize these vehicles immediately upon identification under all circumstances, according to CNewWeb. Recovering these vehicles is now a priority for the administration of Bassirou Diomaye Faye, which aims to reinforce discipline and integrity within public services. After a series of setbacks and uncertainties about whether Senegal's presidential election would occur before President Macky Sall's term ended on April 2nd, the election was successfully held on March 24th without any major incidents and in a transparent manner. A few hours after the polls closed, partial results indicated a first-round victory for Bassirou Diomaye Faye, the candidate from the African Patriots of Senegal for Work, Ethics and Fraternity Party PASTEF, who is the most vocal opposition to the incumbent government. Faye, a 44-year-old former tax inspector, was released from prison just 10 days before the election after spending 11 months in pretrial detention. Before running for president, Faye was relatively unknown to the Senegalese public, operating behind the scenes under party leader Ousmane Sonko. Sonko, who is also a former tax official, has recently become the most vocal critic of Sall's government. He has gained significant popularity, particularly among young people, due to his strong criticism of the traditional political establishment and his pledges to radically change the country's long-standing governance practices. On February 3, 2024, President Sall plunged the country into a political and constitutional crisis by announcing his decision to postpone the presidential election originally scheduled for February 25th. This announcement came before a bill in the Senegalese parliament proposing to officially change the election date to December 15, 2024, thereby extending Sall's term. The decision sparked mass demonstrations, prompting the state to cut mobile internet access and deploy large police forces in major cities, resulting in 4 deaths. On February 15, Senegal's Constitutional Council, the highest constitutional court, whose members are appointed by the president, ruled Sall's decree and the subsequent parliamentary bill unconstitutional. The council urged Sall to schedule the earliest possible election date and confirmed that his 5-year term would end on April 2nd. Instead of the February 25th election, the government held a 2-day national dialogue on February 26 and 27, involving representatives from political parties, civil society organizations, and religious groups. However, opposition candidates criticized the dialogue as a tactic to delay the election and demanded an immediate election date. Following the Constitutional Council's ruling against postponing the election beyond Sall's mandate, Sall announced on March 6 that the election would be held on March 24. Senegal's current constitution restricts presidents to 2 consecutive terms. However, presidential term limits have consistently caused political turmoil in Senegal. When Abdoulaye Wade, Sall's predecessor, was elected in 2000, there were no term limits. Wade later amended the constitution to impose a 2-term limit, but then sought a 3rd term in 2012, claiming the new limits were not retroactive. Amid widespread protests, Sall emerged as the main opposition leader, promising constitutional reforms. During his first term from 2012 to 2019, Sall reduced the presidential term from 7 to 5 years. However, 2 years into his second term, Sall seemed to be preparing for a 3rd term by not publicly clarifying his political plans beyond his current mandate. More broadly, during Sall's 2 terms in office, there have been noticeable trends towards limiting political participation in Senegal. Sall's re-election in 2019 followed the Constitutional Council's decision to disqualify 2 major opposition candidates due to their convictions in corruption cases, widely perceived as an attempt to sideline his strongest political rivals. Additionally, Sall's administration has implemented measures to restrict freedom of the press and speech. In 2021, a press code was enacted allowing for imprisonment for defamation and dissemination of fake news that could harm public institutions or decency. The government has also cracked down on opposition rallies and protests, bolstering its paramilitary force, the National Gendarmerie, and periodically shutting down internet and social media access on mobile devices. This included suspending television stations, restricting social media apps, and limiting phone data services. Over the past 5 years, Ousmane Sonko has been a prominent figure in Senegal's political scene, gaining recognition for exposing corruption and criticizing the administration while serving as a government tax inspector. rising to prominence as a leader of the opposition with PASTEF during the 2019 presidential election. Sonko garnered significant support, particularly from the youth, with his anti-corruption pledges. However, in 2021, he faced allegations of rape and death threats, which sparked protests from his supporters who believed it was a ploy by the government to undermine the opposition. Although Sonko was convicted in absentia for corrupting youth in 2023, he was acquitted of the more serious charges. Subsequently, he was arrested later that year on charges related to incitement and conspiracy, leading to the dissolution of PASTEF by the government. Finally, Sonko's exclusion from the presidential election was sealed by the Supreme Court's confirmation of his defamation sentence in 2024. Thank you for tuning into my video. Catch you in the next one, and don't forget to subscribe.